Head football coach and athletic director at BB Comer, Adam Fossett, brought to you this morning by Marble City Pharmacy. And a 14-0 win over Childersburg, big region matchup, first win of the season for BB Comer, and it feels a whole lot better with a W than an L, doesn't it, Coach? Good morning.
Yes, sir, it does, most definitely. Good morning to you.
Let's talk a little bit about the game itself. It was back and forth. Both teams, if you played between the 20s all night, you'd wear the field out, but not much scoring going on.
Yeah, not much at all. You know, we get a stop early and put them in a punt situation, and feel like, you know, we go to block the punt, honestly, and don't make the block. Richard makes a catch and basically gets the return on his own because we sent all our guys to block it, but he kind of weaves his way and gets down the sideline and scores, and I thought, man, this will be, you know, maybe we can open this thing up and get going. So get the 2-point conversion, which is huge for us as far as, you know, scoring.
What does Weed mean to this team, Coach?
You know, he's multifaceted. He can do a ton of different things for us. He's one of those, you know, him and Raylan Sims are two of our seniors that have played since they were sophomores. So, you know, he can do pretty much anything for us. He's playing both sides of the ball. He plays special teams for us. So, pound for pound, he's probably the toughest kid that we have as well. So, he's not afraid to come up and make tackles on bigger backs on defense, and you can put him in spots and you can put him in tough spots, and he'll accept the challenge. So,
you're up 8-0, and things looking good. It stayed that way most of the game.
Yeah. We go back and forth, and defensively, I thought we stepped up and played really, really well. I thought Nate Pierce played well for us, and we needed him to step up and play well. Like he's one of those guys that he's a senior, but he hasn't played in 3 or 4 years. Came out this year to play, and he stepped up and played well for us and filled a gap at that nose area, and we got to the ball. I thought, you know, looking back at film, we had 8, 9, 10, 11 guys to the ball almost every time, no matter where it was, and that's what we need. We got to have that team tackling. We got to be able to get to the ball and be aggressive and get after it. Who
else stood out defensively? You throw a goose egg, you got to be doing something good.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job getting to the ball, obviously, but Ray played well at linebacker and made some plays. We had a few coverage issues, but we also did some really good things in the defensive backfield because later on, you know, after we went up 2 scores, they had to throw the ball, and we had to make sure coverage was there. Michael Kirksey played pretty well. He's been with us for a while, but you also have Kamari Harris, who's an 8th grader, who's out there, and he's doing the best he can and learning, and he's competitive, you know, so he's doing a good job. Jakari Brown, for the most part, did a good job putting a rush on the quarterback for us, and kind of making all the, you know, making those things, making those pressures count by overthrows and things like that.
You talk about this Harris kid. He's very, very young, an 8th grader, but he's on the move. He'll be somebody that you can count on coming up in other years.
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to be an athlete, and he's going to be beneficial for us in the years to come. And you know, like I said, he's very competitive, but he also has a head for the game. Like he wants to learn more, and he wants to be better, and you know, he wants to work into that spot.
Offensively, you had a few stumbles here and there, but you know, you get the kickoff or punt return of 61 yards from Weed, and then you add another touchdown. What about the offense for this Tiger team?
Yeah, offensively, you know, we changed some things up, and it's beneficial for us kind of moving forward, as long, you know, for us to continue to work on it and get better. But we have different things there are different things that we can do. The hard part for us is we're mixing our veterans with our youth, and getting the terminology to mesh has been kind of tough. So I thought we're growing up front. We're getting better up front as our youth progresses. You know, you go from 4 seniors and a sophomore on your offensive line to a junior and 4 sophomores. It's a big difference. So, but I thought last week was probably the best that they played as a unit up front, and that's got to continue to improve. You know, for us to be able to have some success down the road, we've got to continue to mesh up front. Josh Ruiz is one of those guys that we depend on, and Jakari Brown stepped up and played guard for us last week, and he's going to have to play some offensive line for us moving forward as well, just to help us out, because we don't have a lot of depth there either.
Yeah, well, injuries plays a role in how things develop too.
Yeah, we've had some crazy injuries this year. We've had we've had 3 season-ending injuries, and 2 of those are seniors. So, you know, those injuries are, and it's not something you can prepare for by any means, but just crazy injuries. Like, you know, one of them was a non-contact injury that resulted in a collarbone issue. So, you know, those injuries are things that, you know, you can prepare for, but you really need those guys too in the mix. And when you don't have those guys, you lose depth, and you lose, you know, those other options that you may have.
I noticed a quote from Coach Johnson of Childersburg. He said, you know, the best team won, and 14-0 the final score. But that friendship you and Coach Johnson have, that doesn't change with an outcome of a game one way or another.
No, we talked the next day. We've talked a couple times this week, and I mean, it's just it's one of those things, and you know, the night and the atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great just a great rivalry in a sense. Our fan base was great and all that good stuff, but I look forward to when that week is over.
Yeah.
You know, like I look forward to the game aspect of it, but it's like it's kind of like you lose a friend for a week, you know, and then you pick him back up after the week's over. So.
Well, let's talk about the game tomorrow night and undefeated Piedmont. And, you know, you go to their place, which is never easy to play at anyway, and Piedmont's got an excellent football team.
Yeah, Piedmont, you know, they had a kind of a down year last year, but they're right back to where they were, playing really good football. You know, we're back on the homecoming tour. So it's their homecoming, so I know that they're going to be fired up and ready to play. And they've won some big games this year. You know, they've won a couple games that they weren't picked to win early on in the season, and man, they're playing really, really well right now. You
talk about a gauntlet for B.B. Comer the rest of the season. You got one.
Yeah, the rest of the season is going to be it's going to be tough in certain spots. You know, we feel like, from a region standpoint, we feel like, you know, we know what Glenwood has, and we've seen Lee Scott, we've heard about Randolph County, and then, you know, we go back into region play next week with Beulah and Davil in the mix. So you've got a tough schedule ahead of you, and it's a one game at a time thing, you know, honestly. And you look at the schedule and how it's lined up in the non-region schedule. I was asked, you know, why are we playing these non-region teams? Well, nobody would play us. You know, like, I told Piedmont no probably 3 times, and then late in the scheduling process for coaches, it came back around to, hey, we still have, you know, you can still come to us, or you know, that's the only option I had. So. You know, I don't enjoy the travel aspect of it. I wish there were some teams that were closer that we could play. But, you know, you also don't want to play 9 games. You want to have the opportunity to play 10 games, and, you know, and you want to play competition, obviously. But, yeah, scheduling became tough last year.
So before we go this morning, where is this Tiger team? Here we are midway in the season and had some bumps and bruises, played some top-ranked teams, and but where do you think this Tiger club is right now?
I think we're okay. You know, it's the adversity part of it. You know, it's for us one of those deals where some days are better than others. Like some, you know, our guys have to, like, it's really a counseling session sometimes because the understanding of what's going on and the reality of, hey, you know, this is the reality. This is what could happen. This is what, you know, this is what you control. And trying to explain to them, you know, to control what they can control is tough sometimes. Our older guys are used to the success.
Yeah.
Our younger guys are used to seeing the success, and they don't understand what it takes to have that success. So it's a weird mix. But you know, at the end of the day, it's our job to push these guys into dealing with those adversities and dealing with those things. And you know, it's as simple as not lining up right. You know, you don't line up right in practice. All right, hey, we can fix that. But if it's continued over and over again, like, that's a you problem. So there's got to be some accountability on that end, and some of those guys are going to have to do a better job on the accountability end of things. But we're in a good spot. We know that tomorrow will be a tough opponent. We know that tomorrow will be a non-region opponent. So we want to go and play like we can, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm looking more so at attitude and effort than anything. I've explained that to them, and you know, that's the expectation.
Yeah. All right. Good luck against Piedmont. B.B. Comer with a 14-0 win over Childersburg last Friday night. Coach Adam Fossett Show this morning, brought to you, of course, by Marble City Pharmacy. More Daybreak just ahead.